Mark, the first time I ever walked into Signals, I was in awe of your collection. Tell us a little bit how you got started.
Well, 65 years ago, when I was just a teenager, I got my first kit radio, a 5-band receiver, and I put that together, and it was enjoyable. And I would play that radio at night, and my brother would say, "Mark, please turn off the radio." But I was listening to stuff all over the world, and I enjoyed that. And I went to school in electrical engineering, and when I got out, I fixed another radio. My father-in-law gave me an old radio, and I fixed it, and it started the process. I just enjoyed seeing what was wrong with them and fixing them, and started doing it.
What brought you to Huntsville?
Well, we moved down, worked for Bell Laboratories in New Jersey, and we moved down here with my management team, went to work for Teledyne Brown. And I didn't have a whole lot of time then to work on it, but as I moved over to Dynetics, I started working on radios again and started buying a few and expanding the collection, so it was a fun process.
Bell Laboratories is a name in history in our industry.
I got to work with people that I only had read about in my books, and it was really a phenomenal experience. Yeah.
And Signals is your gift to Huntsville?
Yes, my wife and I both got into the hobby, and we started collecting more and more, and pretty soon our house was full, and she said, "Why don't you," I was going to build a shop, and she said, "Why don't you let me put an upper floor on there, and we'll make that our museum." And so I did that over at our lake, and we had a small museum that's still there, and people would come over and see it. And I had a couple guys from Huntsville that said, "Mark, you've got to share this with Huntsville." I said, not enough people are seeing it. And so as I got moved towards retirement, I said, maybe that's a good thing to do, and bought the building across the street here and started the process.
And how has the process been?
Not knowing a whole lot about museums, it's been an eye-opening thing. I enjoyed fixing Victrolas and radios and telegraphs, but there's a whole lot more to it than I ever expected. But I got some good people on board. They're helping me, and it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it.
What are your hopes for Signals?
Well, I really enjoy tracing the history of communications. When we started having rapid communications with a telegraph, then there was about a 200-year period to get where we're at today with cell phones and beyond. So I want to tell that story. I love the history of it. I like showing how the technology progressed and changed. And then along the way, we've got a technical community here that should love that, but we also have a lot of young kids that I'm hoping will come in and maybe discover there's some interesting careers in electronics and communications.
As I toured it, I think you'll bring internationally. I really think that gentlemen who are coming here to do some work, whether they're just here for a while, I don't think they'll want to miss this.
We've had a lot of people from all over the country come in while we're building it, and we've had good responses. People 30 and over pretty well like it. The hard part is getting young kids that are 30 and under, and I've got Ether Corporation. They're helping me do the virtual reality and the tours and all that. And I think using iPads and your cell phones to bring up these virtual experiences, that's going to help with the young people, I believe.
One of the older things you've got going on is our ham radio club.
We've probably got one of the most active ham radio groups in the country, I believe. Those guys are always doing something. They meet every Friday. They got one Tuesday a month. They look at long-range communications. It's a great group, and they've been very helpful to me.
What's your favorite part of the museum?
My favorite part is when people come in and look at something and say, "Wow, my grandpa had one of them, and I remember that now." I love seeing the expression on people's faces when they're enjoying it. That to me is my reward for doing this for the community. I've been in a lot of museums where things are sitting on a shelf and just there to look at. They're beautiful. I wanted a museum where people could come in, plug them in, turn them on, and see how they really sounded. They sounded different, they played different as technology improved. I want people to actually see how they worked back in the day. So we tried to bring it back to its original estate, both the cabinetry and the electronics as we could.
One of the things I've always said is I pointed across the street was Mark's works. Mine are just pretty.
I don't think that's quite the case, but we do enjoy trying to make them work.